Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel, Quicker Global. Tougher language standards, stronger enforcement. The United Kingdom has stepped into 2026 with a firm and unmistakable shift in immigration policy. New rules now shape the journey of workers, students, visitors, and long-term residents alike. From tougher English language standards to digital border systems and heightened enforcement, the message is clear. Immigration is becoming more structured, monitored, and compliance-focused. Enforcement and border controls intensify. At the heart of these changes lies a major enforcement drive. In January 2026, the Home Office confirmed that illegal working raids had surged dramatically, up 77% since mid-2024. Over the past 18 months, this resulted in more than 12,300 arrests nationwide. Alongside this, key elements of the Border Security, Asylum, and Immigration Act 2025 have come into force. Authorities now have expanded powers, including the ability to seize mobile phones from migrants to disrupt human smuggling networks. Meanwhile, the government's proposed one-in, one-out asylum strategy encountered early resistance, with its first planned 2026 removal flight cancelled following legal challenges. Immediate visa rule changes take effect. January 2026 also brought stricter requirements for several visa routes. Applicants under the skilled worker, high potential individual, and scale-up visas must now meet a higher English language threshold. The minimum requirement rose from B1 to B2 level on January 8, 2026. Employers are feeling the impact too. The immigration skills charge increased by 32%, reaching £1,320 per sponsored worker per year for medium and large sponsors, significantly raising recruitment costs. Critical deadlines, ETA and settlement reform. Several key dates demand attention. From February 25, 2026, the Electronic Travel Authorization becomes mandatory for visitors from 85 visa-free countries, including the EU, the United States, and Australia. At the same time, consultation on proposed earned settlement reforms, potentially extending the indefinite leave to remain qualifying period from 5 to 10 years, closes on February 12, 2026. The full transition to digital e-visas is also expected to conclude later this year. Long-term policy shifts on the horizon. Looking ahead, the graduate visa route will be shortened to 18 months starting January 2027. Further down the line, an international student levy of £925 per year is scheduled to begin in August 2028. Educational background key indicator of immigration views in UK. Educational background key indicator of immigration views in UK. Study finds. Research comparing UK and US finds people with fewer qualifications more likely to support right-wing movements. Right-wing movements are struggling to gain support among graduates as education emerges as the most important dividing line in British attitudes towards politics, diversity, and immigration, research has found. A study from the Independent National Center for Social Research found people with qualifications below A level were more than twice as likely to support right-wing parties compared with those with qualifications above. The Demographic Divides report says, a person with no educational qualifications had around 2 times the odds of voting for either the Conservatives or Reform UK than someone with a university degree or higher. This is independent of other factors, including financial precarity, so those without a degree are more likely to support right-wing parties in the UK even after adjusting for their financial situation. If one wanted to predict whether a person voted for parties of the right in the UK, knowing their educational background would give them a very good chance of making a correct prediction. The findings are to some extent mirrored in the US, where people with a high school education or lower were twice as likely as college graduates to support Donald Trump over Kamala Harris in 2024. Right-wing movements in both countries share a common difficulty in gaining support among those who have been through higher education and obtained a degree. Education divides attitudes on race, diversity, and immigration more strongly in the UK than in the US, according to the study. In the UK, the research found 65% of people educated to degree level or above thought diversity strengthened society, compared with 30% of people educated to A-level or below. In the US, 74% of college graduates thought diversity strengthened society, compared with 54% educated to high school level or less. When asked how far white people benefited from advantages in society that Black people did not have, 60% of people with a university or college degree in both countries said a great deal or a fair amount. Only 30% of those with qualifications below A levels or less thought this in the UK, and 50% of high school graduates or lower in the US. The research found 55% of people in the UK with below A-level qualifications thought immigrants living in the country without permission should not be allowed to stay, compared with 36% of degree holders. In the US, 32% of university graduates believed undocumented immigrants should not be allowed to stay in the country, compared with 40% of people educated to high school level or below. The researchers found that in the U.S. factors other than education played a significant role in predicting party support, including ethnicity, gender, financial precarity, and location, with white voters, men, rural voters, and people just meeting their expenses more likely to support Trump. Alex Scholes, a research director at Natson, said, "Right-wing politics in the UK and the US are often compared, but our findings show they are built on different foundations. In Britain, education stands out as the most important dividing line, particularly on immigration and diversity. In the US, support for the right reflects a much denser mix of identities, including ethnicity, religion, gender, age, and economic insecurity. These differences help explain why political polarization looks and feels different between the UK and US. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you soon. Take care.